About to go live. About to go live. Welcome, dear students. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Sundar. We have our student with us who has secured All India 33 rank. He has taken accounts from us and he scored 95 in accounts. That's a really good marks. So, heartiest congratulations, Sundar. Welcome to the live interaction.
Thank you so much again. It's very good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So, Sundar, to start with, how did you come to know about your result? I think that is the first question what we ask to most of our students who join us. How did you get to know about your results?
Sir, I came to know about the results with a tweet from Dheeraj sir, CC member. Then I opened the results and I was expecting a rank, but it was not in the 30s range I was expecting. I thought I would, nick it in the 40s, 50 last range.
Okay.
So I was caught by surprise, but it was to good extent. And my parents were actually not at home. So I called them, I told them, they were obviously delighted.
Great.
I was caught off guard when I got in the 30s range because I thought I would get around in the last edges.
Okay. So anyway, so you could get a rank, you had expected a rank and you got a rank.
Yeah.
Right. So did you get the marks that you expected, or you were expecting something less, something more? In some subjects you got extra marks more than what you expected?
Sir, a combination of both, sir. Some subjects I expected more, I got less. Some subjects I were like taxation, ASSM. I was like, those subjects I thought I would get less marks, but I actually got more marks than I expected. And audit and FMECO, I thought I would get more than what I got, but it was actually less. So it evenly balanced out. So it was not that much big of a deal, but yes, audit and FMECO, I could have got much better.
Okay, so some subjects you got better marks, and some subjects you got less marks. Yeah, how does it feel to score 95 in accounts? The first paper, right? I call it the opening batsman. So how does it feel when your opening batsman almost scores a century?
Sir, actually, I didn't think I did any mistake in the accounting paper. It must be some working note or something that must have, 5 marks. So it felt really good to get 95. And I didn't see anybody, I've seen rank sheets of so many people. I didn't see people getting 95. I saw 94. I saw somebody getting 94, but it felt really good.
So I hope you get the best paper award for this 95, unless somebody else has scored a higher marks than that.
Hopefully, sir.
Yeah, good. So how is everyone at home feeling? What is their reaction? And
they're excited, sir, obviously. And, like most of the prospects, they aren't like well aware of. So I'm taking time to explain how things work, all the future things. So they're excited and happy, but I'm making them aware of how things are to be taken forward.
I hope they are not asking you questions like, from which college did you do CA?
No,
or
sir,
did you get that question?
I got that from my relatives, like foundation stage, but now, I've told them this is how things work.
Okay.
You don't need not join a college.
Right. Good. Right. So, going back, few years, if you go back few years, when did this thought of, pursuing CA come to your mind, or when did you decide that you will, become a chartered accountant?
Sir, actually, I joined commerce stream, with an aim to become an IAS. So it was my teachers who introduced me to chartered accountancy. So actually, it wasn't well planned. I got to know from my teachers. Then that is how my journey started.
Okay, that's how your journey started, and you wanted to pursue CA course. And how has the journey been so far, foundation and inter?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Good. Congratulations once again. Right. So coming to your, preparation strategy, a lot of students would want to know about that. So how did you plan? When did you start your, CA coaching? When did you begin your CA intermediate preparation? And how did you plan over the, last 8-9 months? And how did you write your exams? If you can, share your journey, that I think that would help a lot of students.
Sure, sir. Our results were out around February 8th. So coaching, I started around February 26th, like February month was mostly done. So it was like mostly from March to December. I mean, one good thing with our attempt was we had an extension of 1 more month. So most of them are not going to get that. So that was added bonus.
But you was anyways started also late, right? Generally results
Yeah.
come out by January 3rd week, and you had that 1 week.
Yeah, it did balance things out, but
Okay.
still, you know, like that little confidence you get from an extra month still left.
Right.
Then what I was told from different people was that you have to complete at least 3 months prior to the exam in order to get a rank. So I did complete my syllabus around July. There is more than enough time to prepare. I revised around 3 to 4 times, and one good thing is I gave a couple of mock tests. One was the ICA MTP Series 1.
Okay.
I went to my branch here physically and I gave the test there.
Great.
Another one, I bought it from market. I wrote it from home. So that was really, you know, that made me feel how strong I'm in, and it made me evaluate which areas I have to improve.
Correct.
So that is what I would most suggest to people, is that complete your syllabus early. Like if I say 3 months, it would be great if you can complete even earlier too, because it's merely a benchmark. You can you can obviously exceed it. So that is what I would advise, is like complete your syllabus early, start your revision, and you know, if you're starting for group 2, do not forget that you have done 4 subjects of group 1.
Right.
Because obvious subjects like law and taxation, you are going to forget 1 or 2 things here and there, sections, limit, whatever. So when you start G2 preparation, keep in mind that you have completed 4 subjects and keep them revising. And when it comes to practical subjects like accounts, costing, like you have to write them down at least once or twice. When you're revising for the next time around, you can like mark those important questions and you can write them. Other than that, you can like audit what has happened. These were the steps. That is how my preparation went.
So I think a few tips for the students are very relevant ones. The first one was to complete in time. I think Aman also spoke the other day, where he said, you have to complete well in advance. So 3 months, maybe 2.5 months, maybe if more than that, that would be, sufficient or more than sufficient for a revision. And I think second thing, mock test, what you mentioned about where you were, attempting mock test and getting feedback. That is another thing, which helped you to score the rank. Now, a lot of students also are, tell us about, being scared of theory subjects, and they really find it very difficult in learning and remembering theory. What was your strategy in that?
Sir, I personally like law and audit. So when you like one subject, you don't have any problem with that. So law and audit was easy for me, but I did have a little aversion towards EAS. I think most students would agree. What I did was like I got the concepts right first. So like with the theory papers, you have an added advantage of MCQ portion. So with EAS, I prepared my concepts good that I would get 15 out of 15 in EAS MCQ part. So, little hate was only towards 35 marks. I studied that, I memorized things. First, get your concepts right. Then start making little mind maps so that you'll be able to remember. Because if you're simply trying to memorize by writing or verbal repetition, it's not going to work. Frame little mind maps, have some relatable examples so that you'll remember that. So that was my thing. And economics is obviously one of my favorite. So I didn't have problem with that too. Only hate was towards EAS, and good that it was only for 50 marks.
Okay, so I think a very different experience altogether here, where he likes theory subjects, and nonetheless, and he scores well in practicals as well. So that makes a perfect blend, right? So, and another thing, what and students, whatever questions you have, you can type it out in the chat box, and we'll take those questions and direct to Sundar, and he will be addressing them. Other thing is, how many hours did you study? They keep on saying that. Rank holders, they study a lot, they don't sleep. What was your thing about, what time should you start and when should you read, study, and all of those things?
Sir, I'm an early riser. I get up around 5 and I sleep early too, like 10:30. So all in all, like I would say on an average, all in all, I would say that I would give a handy 12 to 13 hours a day, but I wasn't that consistent. There are obvious days when you feel like not studying, you have a festivity, you have function, your health is not that great, you have to compensate that, but it's completely normal. It's not like rank holders doesn't sleep. 12-13 hours is enough, but it's the consistency that really matters. Like you have consistency and focus, and if in that 12-13 hours you have to have extreme focus and dedication, because you cannot simply say that I've sat for 13 hours, but the productivity actually is much less. So that is important thing. So irrespective of how many hours, make sure that hours is used to the fullest potential.
Great, great. So consistency is what drives, and more than the quantity. And if you can even do it, 10 hours, 12 hours, that will be great. So as I was looking through your marks, the marks are really amazing. Like 95 in accounts, then law 80, then cost and management 76, taxation 74, advanced accounting 75, audit and EIS less than around 66, 68, 76. So are you happy with whatever I asked initially, the satisfaction? But are you happy with whatever you achieved, or you thought I could have scored something more, and then maybe I would have pushed my rank some higher?
Sir, there's a little bit of regret with group two. Like I'm happy with what I've got in group one,
Right.
but actually it was my fault. It is me to blame because I got a little overconfident in the end with the last two papers, be it
Okay.
FM economics or
Okay.
ASSM, because I did not utilize the 1.5 days properly. I studied some revision marathons that is conducted by my faculties, and they told me to self study, but I took it lightly. So that really cost me, and it is good that I got to know now. So I can't take it forward for other exams. But that is one mistake I will tell people to avoid. Like, do not get overconfident.
I think it takes a lot of courage to speak it out on a YouTube live, that admitting your own mistake and then being overconfident. I think students have seen both kinds, where sometimes we get overconfident and we say no. So I've scored well, I've performed well in first group, second group it will happen automatically. That is one thing. Second set, we also have students who feel too much of pressure, where if one paper goes bad, then they carry forward that with other papers. I think each paper should be kept independent, and that is, I think, what would help. And I hope with this lesson, when you write your CA final exams, you take that in mind, and then you perform much better at that level as well, right? So and then how did you utilize your 1.5 days for other papers before the exams?
So when it comes to practical subjects, I revised entire ICA study material. I did not refer to anything else. 1.5 days, because around 50-60 marks usually comes from the study material. So
Correct.
you need not worry about anything in the last day, especially.
Right.
For theory chapters, for theory subjects, I made my own handwritten notes that was crisp. So I covered that around 2-3 times, and some notes were provided by my faculties too. So I, either have your handwritten note or have some crisp form of the entire module, because for law audit, like it's too bulky, you cannot do that. So have some little crisp notes so that you can revise in the 1.5 days. For practical subjects, simply stick to the study material, cover both illustration and practical problems, you'll be done.
Great, great. So that is the thing, I think with whomever we speak to, study material becomes the core of the preparation, and other things become, ancillary around that. We spoke with a lot of our students. We spoke with other rank holders also. I think that has been the core, that you cannot ignore the study material. You may have hundreds of other notes and 100 of summary notes, fast track notes, but ultimately it comes back to that, you have to stick to study material. And did you also refer to past examination papers, mock test papers, and RTPs?
Yes, sir. I covered every ICA material right from May 18. For the new syllabus, I covered everything. I even touched on to old syllabus practice manual for costing, because I was a little weak in costing. So I thought I would do these to get more confidence. But I wouldn't recommend that, because it took a lot of time out of me.
It does take. Yeah.
Some questions were repeated in the new syllabus portion itself. So you can do every material that is available on ICA platform right from May 18. That will be more than sufficient.
Great. Yeah. So coming to us, as I told in the beginning, he took accounting from us. How has the journey been, and how did it help you in your overall journey, Indigo Learn as a platform?
Sir, one thing about Indigo Learn I personally like is that they have the quizzes, the forum. I actually didn't even use it to the fullest potential, because there are so many quizzes that is out there on the app. I didn't have time to use that. So that one was really good from your side. Thanks. And accounting was my, as you said, it's the opening batsman. So I completed accounts very early. So I did regular from yours. I took fast track from another faculty. So I wanted to make sure that first one goes right. So I revised it around 3-4 times. So if I lack some concepts clarity in any part, I would come back to the module. I'll refer what you and another sir took. Some concepts were really explained beautifully through graphics, branch accounting. That is like something like branch accounting is not my strength. I know that. So these graphical representations were really useful. So that is what Indigo Learn experience was for me from my side.
Yeah, thanks for them. Right. So we have some few questions on YouTube. Before we move ahead with the discussion, let me take that. So someone's asking, Himanshu Soman is asking, what did you eat before the accounts exam? He's one of your colleague actually. He's also taken classes from us. What did you eat before the accounts exam?
I
And
seriously don't
Himanshu,
remember.
if sometimes somebody asks you that question, be prepared for that as well, right? Yeah.
I don't remember, sir.
Oh, you don't remember. No, I think
Completely
that's
don't
just he's
remember.
trying to pull your leg.
Yeah. That's
Way.
completely fine. No.
Yeah. So then, apart from that, how did you prepare EIS and SM? So what was your preparation strategy overall?
Sir, SM was easy. Like concepts are easy. It's just that you have to memorize the points. You can make little mind maps and memorize that things.
Correct.
So SM 50 marks, like you have to secure at least 40 plus there.
Great.
That is what my thought process was towards EIS. And EIS, like I already mentioned, I got the concepts right. I understood how things work so that I would get the MCQ part right. So
Correct.
like every theory paper, you have to get 30 out of 30 in MCQ. That should be your target. You can, because you simply have to get 10 more to pass. And that gives a little bit of assurance that, okay, anything I do more than that is simply bonus. So that is how I approach EISism. And like, yes, gets a little bit boring at sometimes, but you have to do it. You cannot hate that subject. You have to give it anyways.
Correct. So coming to another question which a lot of students ask is, how did you manage stress, and what did you do when you were bored, or when you were some days you're feeling low that today I don't want to study? How did you get over all of these things?
Sir, I actually didn't have any college, be it either regular or correspondence. So my only focus was CA. So there were times when I wasn't that feeling great. So what I did was like, I'm a big football fan. So I'll watch every league that's around the globe. So football was a great stress relief for myself. But I didn't have that much experience to talk about stress and stuff, because I seriously like some subjects, and the faculties I took from were also so likable. So either you like the subject and you like you like to study, or you like the faculty and you study. So good that both the things happened to me. So I didn't have a great experience, but yes, there are little bit times, but that's manageable.
So you could manage it. Right. And did you have a fixed timetable and you were able to stick to the timetable? How did you keep a check on that?
Yeah, sir, I did have a fixed timetable. 5 to 11:30 is what my go-to is.
Morning 5 to 11:30 in the morning.
5 to night 11:30.
So you have a fixed schedule for the entire day?
Yeah, I have a fixed schedule for the entire day. Most of my every classes were done through the online mode. So like no problem with traveling and that stuff. So I would watch some classes. I'll take a little bit of break, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I will revise the same. I will make little pointers in my notes so that I'll get to know how far the things have gotten into my memory actually. Because like especially that's important for theory subjects. You have to like assess how good you got the concepts right. So that is what I did, and usually I stuck to the schedule, but there are obvious exceptions. But I catched it around with the next day.
Okay, so you so I think a very important thing, having a fixed schedule and also saving time on travel. I think that adds a lot of comfort to your preparation thing. And what was your revision strategy? I think you mentioned you did 3 revisions initially when we spoke about. So how did you manage your revisions? How did you plan about those revisions?
Yeah, so like I said, I had 3 to 4 times revision. Subject wise, if we speak, I'll divide it into practical and theory. For practical papers, I marked some adjustments, some sums which I found tough in the first time around. So if I only see that sum and I revise the concept, practical is mostly done. And everything I based it on ICA study material only. So every time I complete a sum, I mark it. So if I see my book right now, you'll have around 4 or 5 marks. I've done the revision that time around. So for law audit, I made my notes. So I
your own notes.
That I made it myself.
Okay.
So that was that was very useful. It was very short and crisp. It was like one day before exam revision kind of notes. So that is what I did. In the second, third revision, I finalized the notes. Made them ready for final day examinations. So law and audit was easy part for me because I like this subject. I already told that. EASSM, EASSM and economics. Economics, I first completed the practical portion of that. Around 15 marks generally comes for practical. So I made sure my concepts over there are strong. Then economics, I didn't really go that in depth for the module, because generally the questions are only for 2-3 marks. So
Right.
I would get a little understanding, and I had some decent knowledge in economics, so I kind of got through it. And for EASism, that is one part that is hard, and probably students would understand that. So SM, that was easy. I made my notes and got through it. EAS, I had my faculty short notes. I
Okay.
revised that, and I did not go for writing theory. I used mind maps, verbal repetition, and that was how I memorized things for theory.
Yeah.
And revision, at least, I think it should be done at least 3 to 4 times, so that it will be, you'll feel at ease when you are sitting before the exam day, because you shouldn't be panicking that you have so much to cover in the last day. So revise as much times as possible, so you'd feel at ease.
Great. So, okay. So, Livy Dakshi has a question. How many hours? I think we have covered that. Then there is another question from Athira, who is asking other references other than study material for first group subjects.
All
so, did you
ICA
refer to any other books or textbook other
all
than
ICA material, sir. ICA material, everything that's available on the BOS portal, that is only I refer. I did not buy scanners or other faculties books. It was purely BOS portal. And for Companies Act, I referred a MCA portal ebook. That is the only thing I referred other than from.
I think that is a wonderful thing to hear from a CA intermediate student, and that actually adds a lot of value to your study. So to all the students who are listening to this session, BEAR Act is what he has referred to, right? And that is available on the MCA portal. Income Tax BEAR Act is available on the Income Tax website. If you read the BEAR Act even once, okay, it is bulkier than study material, obviously, or concept heavy, but if you read it even once, let me tell you, when you're doing your articleship, when you write your final exams, or when you're working, it will be, your understanding will be at a different level. And I think, I'm hats off to you that, at a CA intermediate level, you had the courage to, open the BEAR Act and actually read it from the BEAR Act. That is really nice, because even today, if you have to, address any issue at the organization, or, address any student's doubt, the first thing is we go and read the BEAR Act, whether it be, BEAR Act of the law or accounting standards. First read the BEAR Act, and then, try to refer to other sources. I think that is nice. So, Akshay, as you said, he has referred to only ICI material. You can download the study material, and you anyways have the books as well. For past exams, past RTPs, last 2-3 attempts are available on Institute's website. For if you want prior to that, you can refer to our own website, indigolearn.com, where we have all the past exam papers, RTPs, MTPs, and all of those things. Then one question from says, how would you start your day before you start to study? So basically, what would you do before you start your study?
Didn't have any. No, sir. I didn't have any particular ritual or something like that. Okay. But it was like I started with theory subjects in the morning. When theory subjects start getting boring, I'll go to practical. So that is how I mix things. And my go-to every subject every morning would be audit, because irrespective of having completed G1, I devoted complete time to audit. I started audit also early. My first one was accounting, then I did audit. So I had specific time for audit every morning, because still audit is the lowest marks out of all marks. I got only 66 in audit. So it seems like there's a work to be done in CA final.
Yeah, so I think it's volume, but any specific reason to read it daily?
No, sir, I'm not that good when it comes to memorizing things. I can understand the concepts, but when it has to have the particular points that needs to be memorized, I'm not that good. So I knew that was my flaw. So I gave enough attention to that, but the results audit was.
But I think 66, ask anybody, 66 in audit is also a really good score. Okay, that is, I know you could have, there is always a thing that, I could have scored more and much all of better. That, but 66 in a theory subject like audit, which is voluminous, which has a lot of concepts and all, there are no standard answers, right? So I think it's really good marks, and yeah, you can anyways, pump up your preparation for final and score better marks. Right. Okay. So that is the thing here. And coming back, how are things back at family? How are they feeling? What are your friends saying and all of that?
They're obviously happy, sir. Like every time I speak to any of them, I have to explain the process from first. This is how things work. Next, I have to do this. So they're happy, but they do not know why they are happy. They are happy that I've secured the all India rank, but they're not sure of how the next things are going to be. So I take my time to let them know how things work, so that they feel at ease.
You can record some message and keep it standard. Somebody calls you. I'll send you a WhatsApp voice message explaining the process so that you don't have to repeat it again and again. Okay. So now coming to so the preparation was done. How did you manage those 3 hours 15 minutes in the examination time? Because I think that is what matters ultimately, which decides your results, right? How much ever you have prepared, finally on the ground, on the field, what you do is what matters. So how did you plan and how did you manage those times? What did you do if you got a difficult question or unexpected question? How did you manage them?
Sir, I'll divide it, the subjects into two, practical and theory. For
Okay.
theory, I first completed around 40 marks of subjective portion. Then I went to the MCQs. I completed the MCQs and then I went to the rest of the portion. So
Okay.
I did MCQs in the middle.
Any
I
reason?
did, sir.
Any reason for that?
Any reason is that first one is I'll complete 40 marks of subjective. I did that because I have to have something on board first. When I do the MCQs, time management comes in key because when you do 40 marks, it's going to take around 1 hour. So if you do MCQs, you're going to save a lot of time. Like MCQs mostly were easily in this attempt. And even in taxation, I found the paper to be a little difficult, but the MCQs were still easy. It was the subjective portion that was quite tricky.
Okay.
So if you do MCQs in the middle, you'll gain confidence. And they are extremely scoring too. So if you want to have that momentum towards the end, so MCQs give you that. So that is why I did MCQs in the middle. When it comes to practical subjects for accounting and advanced accounting, I attempted the last question, the sixth question, which has 4 questions of 5 marks each. I did not take up that question, which had 1 question of 20 marks.
Right.
Because I didn't want to put myself in that pressure of having 1 question for 20 marks. I thought I would split it. I'll have 4 questions, 20 marks. But time has to be taken into consideration. But still, I took that question first. I solved that question first, and then I went to the questions which were like 10-10 combo, 10, 12 plus 8. So that is what I did for accounting and advanced accounting. For costing and FM, I attempted the theory questions. I knew at least 1 question was going to come out of the box, a difficult one. So I studied theory well. I attempted theory for both costing and FM. And do not do the first question first. Have it at the end. You're going to do that anyway. Don't even bother. Don't even bother it studying it in the 15 minutes time. Figure which question you are going to leave out in the 15 minutes. You have the first question at the last one.
So I think a perfect way to describe how we approached, and because anyways first question you are going to attempt, so you can just ignore that, and remaining questions you decide and start with as per your comfort. He started with the last question, few papers, MCQs in between. I think that helps you relax also because you have already secured or completed some portion of the exam. You get some confidence in the MCQs, and then then you can balance it further, right? Just a second. Yeah, so another question is, how do you manage your day-to-day activities with your studies? Like if you have college or any other household related work or whatever it is, how do you manage that?
The good thing is I did not have college, either regular or correspondent. My only focus was this one. So it was quite easy for me on that hand.
Okay, so then your focus only was with CA.
Yeah.
Okay, great, fine. Right. So I think we have covered a lot of aspects. Now, what are you looking forward to? Looking forward to your article shape. What kind of profile do you want to, and what kind of firms are you looking at?
I'm looking for article shape in the statutory audit and direct taxation. I've applied for a couple of firms, big 4 organizations, because I don't think practice is what my cup of tea. So I'm looking forward to employment only. So I thought an exposure in an organization like Big 4 would give me, set me right on the platform to good employment.
Yeah, it does. Definitely it does. Yes.
So that is what I'm looking to. And I feel like I should add a couple of more professional courses. Like I'm looking to CMA and ACCA, but I was suggested to do that after CA because there's no exemptions anyways in CMA, they said. And ACCA, they said, is quite expensive. You can do it after CA. So I have my sights at them after CA.
Sure. So ACCA, if you complete your CA final, you get more exemptions.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once you do CA final, ACCA would be a cakewalk. Let me be, frank and candid on the screen. I myself did CIMA and it was, not very tough in that sense. Yes, when you have to write case-based answers and all of that, it becomes slightly tricky, but otherwise, it becomes
manageable.
And apart from studies and all, you said football was your, one sport which you like. Any other hobby, anything you would, do it on basis where you want to just relax and do something, or something which you follow as a hobby?
Something I follow as a hobby is I play keyboard,
Oh,
so I
nice.
can play that, and I listen to music and I read some books. Books are mostly on psychology, spirituality. I'm in that lane, so that is
Okay.
my genre when it comes to books. And in my pastime, I used to play keyboard, so that is
Okay.
how I manage things.
Good to see the creative aspect also, and mind reading and psychology, and that's nice balance actually. Okay, so I think we have think okay, we have covered all the questions mostly by the students and what they generally ask. Anything as we conclude the session you would want to share with the students as the must do thing and must not do thing?
So first, I will go with must not do. So
Okay.
first thing is, do not get overconfident when you are on a good track. That is one lesson I learned the hard
Right.
way. I'm telling it in front of you because I don't want you guys to do that.
Great.
So that is first one. And do not procrastinate activities. Like if you feel like you have to do this today, do it today itself. So that is an important aspect that needs to be covered. Must do aspect, written practice is absolutely essential. So like you shouldn't like go to the exam and you shouldn't freak out how to start, because you will have that trouble if you didn't do enough written practice. And next one is you have to have your concepts perfectly clear. Like
Yeah.
that will give you immense confidence that irrespective of whatever question is going to come, I know the concepts and I can do that well. So
Sure.
have your concepts well, have enough written practice, write either of the mock test series issued by the institute itself, or even Indigo Learn provides one
Yeah.
test series,
Sure.
attend that,
Yeah.
evaluate that self, and have your answers as close as possible to the suggested answers issued by the institute. That will do so.
So I think the mantra is the conceptual clarity, written practice, mock test, and don't procrastinate things, and don't get overconfident. And just to add on to that, don't get even pressurized by the examination that comes forward. It was nice having you on board, Sundar, and congratulations once again to you and to the entire family, and all the very best for your CA final examinations. We wish to see you again after CA final exams in one of these interviews.